Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the SmackDown Live Recap on Pro Wrestling Sheet. I'm your host, John Rocha, joined as always by the editor-in-chief of Pro Wrestling Sheet, Ryan Satin. How are you?
I'm doing great, although I'm very unhappy with the fact that our show didn't air yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I want to apologize to those of you who have been DMing me and maybe didn't see my tweet about it. We did record a Raw recap show yesterday. I can assure you that it was great. It was actually probably our best show. No, I don't know that. I just
greatest show ever.
Actually, we probably said a few inappropriate things on there that I'm kind of glad that didn't air, actually. But that's not why the show didn't air.
Oh, my God.
The show didn't air because the file was corrupted. We know it didn't air, but at like 20 minutes into the episode, I noticed the TV glitching that I can see myself on over there.
Yeah.
I went to the tech team to say something about it. We thought it was fixed. It was not. I apologize to all of you. I know you want to hear our takes on things that happened. I don't feel like anything monumental happened on Raw that we really need to get back towards. We're going to get to Bayley.
Okay,
Bayley's the first thing here at the top, so we can talk about Bayley right here at the top. That is important.
Yes.
That I want to get to, but that we can cover right here at the top. I more so mean topics that are going to come that we won't cover in some way here, maybe in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
The only one I can think of is the Firefly funhouse, and I loved the Firefly funhouse. When we talked about it, Rocha didn't love it maybe as much as me, I think. But
I enjoyed it, but it wasn't as,
I thought it was one of the best ones because I liked that it not only did it play off of the tweet that went out saying that Bray Wyatt's going to challenge either Seth Rollins or Braun Strowman, and let's Bray Wyatt build up to that match for the next month and a half before Seth and Braun even enter the picture. He can keep building that up and building the anticipation for that. I like they mentioned the SummerSlam stuff and him kind of being like, I'm sorry, Finn, for what the Fiend did to you. And I also liked a lot that they played into the fact that there's more going on still in the funhouse. I felt like they'd kind of gotten away from that, but when Ramblin' Rabbit popped up from under the table with the little help me sign and Bray Wyatt pushed it back down, I was pumped because I feel like I felt like, okay, as long as they keep that going, to give me little breadcrumbs along the way to make me think that there's still more we're going to find out is going on in the funhouse. I love it because I don't want to think that Bray Wyatt is just filming these dumb, goofy kids shows. I want it to be something more than that.
Yep, agreed. Yeah, I enjoyed that, and then it'll be, now that it's being announced, now that it's being told that this is coming, it's a segment because the Fiend has appeared. Now it almost gives them a little more freedom to kind of explore more. I mean, the Vince character came back in a very strong way, so we'll see how much more that goes forward. You mentioned how you were shocked that Vince is really being allowed to be the butt of the joke of this, with the money being shoved in his mouth.
That was so good when he's when Vince went to stop it, and then he's just like, but Vince, look at all the money I'm making, or look at all the stuff I'm making, or whatever. Great.
Yeah. Well, let's see. It's the honesty of Vince, right? If it sells, it makes sense. All right. Well, and we'll start with the Bayley stuff.
Is there anything else that I'm missing before?
There was the triple threat King of the Ring thing with the Corbin and Ricochet and Samoa Joe.
That's honestly the thing I'm most mad about yesterday's episode not being able to publish on YouTube, because we did our own full reenactment here of who we thought who I thought was the winner.
With the shoulders and the hand on top.
Long story short on that one, Baron Corbin should have got a bye in the tournament. They both should have lost. That's my opinion.
I like a triple threat. It's fun. Corbin overcoming the odds. Who knows? People are going to start cheering for Corbin. That's going to scare the hell out of a lot of us who didn't like him at the beginning. So we'll see. But as he said, we're starting off with the Bayley segment. Certainly SmackDown Live begins that way as well. They recap everything that happened on Raw with Bayley turning heel and going after Becky Lynch along with Sasha Banks here. And then Bayley comes out. The song isn't different, but I don't know if this is on purpose or not, but the flying things are closer to her on the ramp. And I thought that was interesting rather than being just on the side. And I don't know if that's maybe the venue or whatever, but I like the feeling of them being closer to her as kind of a shield from the fans, keeping her from the fans. The visual of that was kind of brilliant, whether accidental or on purpose, but it made it seem as if Bayley's walking her own road now and doesn't need the adulation from the fans.
All right.
I like this. So
I didn't notice, but I like it.
Yeah, she comes down.
I did notice that she wasn't wearing wrist stuff. I think wrist tape anymore, so her tattoo was more visible. Bayley's got a tattoo.
Yeah, she got a tat. And then she comes down the ring, talks about how, why she did what she did, talks about loyalty and teaching the kids, she doesn't understand the reaction when people booing her. She's trying to teach your kids about loyalty and friendship. And then her and Sasha are together on this as friends, and that she is going after Charlotte, who's one of the most selfish people in the world. Charlotte interrupts at that moment, comes down to the ring, and goes after. Before we get to the other interruption, let's just discuss this. Goes after Bayley initially by saying, I'm selfish? Well, I may be selfish, but you see what you get. I'm not a person who comes from behind, and there's no hugging in my world. That's a pretty strong statement to come back on Bayley. So even in this heel promo, Bayley got a little bit owned by Charlotte's heel promo, and that's fantastic.
I think that it's almost going to kind of like, I kind of like the story of, it's very Anakin Skywalker-esque, where Bayley is very Anakin Skywalker, where I feel like we're getting the third part of the trilogy of the prequels, where like Anakin is finally learning that like maybe the dark side is for him, you know? And Sasha's playing almost like the role of the Emperor here, where she's like trying to bring out the evil in Bayley, like feel it, you can feel it, and so I like that. You can see this like internal confusion within Bayley. Because I mean, similar to Anakin didn't think he was wrong.
Right.
Anakin thought that these people were wrong. Like they let his mom get killed. They let all these bad things happen. His wife is the girl he loves is gonna die, and so
it doesn't excuse him killing all those kids. But I hear your point.
No, it does not.
That's pretty strong.
But I mean,
that's a heel move. That's the chair across the back of Becky Lynch.
It's definitely a heel move. And I don't want Sasha Banks to kill Izzy. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying that.
Nice.
Or whoever kill Izzy. But I don't want that to happen. I'm just saying that, like, I like that, right? I thought that we were maybe going to see her come out and go, like, full-blown heel.
Yeah.
But Sasha hasn't even really come out and been, like, full-blown heel.
Yeah.
She's kind of been cocky. She's been confident.
It's an interesting,
calculated, but I don't think she's been a full-blown heel yet. She's not saying like, I guess she is kind of. She said she didn't care about the women's tag team titles and that she's crying on the bath.
But they're heels with nuance.
Yes,
they're not the standard heels, and I find this to be very interesting. As a new way to approach being a heel. Because Bayley doesn't come out, and she's not being shameless when she's saying what she's saying.
No.
She's saying, this is why I did it. I love my friend. I stand by my friend. And I want to teach you loyalty and friendship. Now, and she isn't like smirking and like not believing what she's saying. She seems like she truly believes what she's saying. And Sasha too.
And even, I liked, later in this segment when, so Sasha comes out.
Right, Sasha comes out.
And says her thing or whatever.
Right.
And then, you see like, well, she doesn't even say anything. She's just standing there. And then you see Bayley standing behind Charlotte. And I'm sure you, like me, were like, oh, Bayley's going to deck Charlotte right now. But they did the opposite.
No,
Charlotte was still one step ahead of Bayley and decked Bayley to where Bayley finally had to succumb to the dark side again.
Yeah.
Go grab that steel chair, wham Charlotte with it. And I think she's learning that she's more powerful when she isn't trying to be the nice person. I think we're going to slowly see that. And I kind of like that, actually.
All four of them, you could argue now, the four horsewomen are essentially tweeners. Heel/faces, depending on the situation.
Absolutely.
So you were talking about this, and I thought about it more as I was driving home last night. You were talking about this idea, which is not on the show, because we didn't drive the show, but you mentioned on the show how you think they're lining up something with the four horsewomen and these four. They're lining up something. You're not sure what it is yet.
I'm not sure what it is.
But they're lining something up by making them all, go heel or face.
They're definitely putting them all in the forefront right now with in my opinion, the hottest storyline in WWE right now.
Oh yeah. So once again, the women.
Yes. So I'm very interested. I think that I know people are gonna be like, "Whoa, Satin, what are you talking about?" But like, I do think it's somehow setting up for the return of Ronda Rousey.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Like, I know that she was trying to get pregnant, and that was the whole thing. She also almost cut her finger off the other day. But just like a piece of me, thinks that like
where Survivor Series or next year?
I
think WrestleMania next year. Are they lining this all up to drag it out to WrestleMania?
I do think Ronda Rousey will at WrestleMania.
Okay.
I mean, like, I know that she's supposed to be pregnant, and that might sound, or that she's trying to get pregnant. That might sound crazy of me, but just like I have this hunch that we haven't heard anything yet.
Like she's not pregnant yet, right?
She's not pregnant yet.
So,
that we've heard of.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, that's a lot of negotiation time. They could have worked something out. I don't have any inside info or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, seeing after WrestleMania, the women really got relegated a little bit. Like, we were seeing a lot less women's stuff, even though they were just in the main event, and then they've suddenly now, like, they've clearly cared about Becky Lynch again.
Yep.
They're clearly caring about Sasha Banks and Bayley for the first time in a while, like, working hard on their storyline and not a throwaway. Charlotte's always been important in their eyes, but yeah, I do feel like they're setting up for something. I would love 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Shayna. It might be smarter to have Shayna on NXT.
How much longer is she gonna have to? Like, she's been there so long. How many male champions, world NXT champions, have come through the system, held the belt, and then gotten called up while she's been there as a champion?
I think that
I'm surprised how long she's been there. Like, she should come up already. I don't know if there's space. But.
Well, surprised. I don't want her to get called up, really.
Okay.
Her run has been so good, and Triple H clearly knows how to book her well.
Yes.
Look what's happened to Asuka since she came up.
Yeah, true.
She's just such an afterthought now, and she was as dominant as Shayna was. More dominant than Shayna was.
But Shayna doesn't have the issues on the mic that Asuka does. Shayna is like has that little bit of extra. And it's nothing against Asuka. It's like you have to
the language barrier.
The language barrier is a legitimate thing. So you can see this situation here possibly happening. But you have Bianca as well, for God's sakes. Listen, those two could come up right now and we wouldn't miss a beat.
But also, you have to remember they're premiering on USA this month. So they need stars on the show. They need the people who are like, hey, these
fine.
AEW has future stars. We also have future stars. Here's Bianca Belair. Here's Keith Lee. Here's Matt Riddle. Here's Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole. So there's Velveteen Dream. So as much as I feel like, they should be called up, this is the call up. They worked so hard that they called themselves up.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know?
All right, that's fair. Well, they end up dispatching Charlotte with steel chairs. And I kept thinking of Edge and Christian, a concerto, like in my head. I just kept thinking about it as I was watching this. I was wondering if Sasha was going to grab a chair too. But them passing the chair to each other is pretty awesome. And then they walk out. And of course, Corey Graves talking about how these two could be the most powerful women in WWE right now. So that's an interesting combo. And then we go off.
Great segment.
Yeah, absolutely great segment.
Great segment.
We go to break. We come back, and Ali is coming out to face Elias for King of the Ring. Ali in the green this time coming out, and this was a good damn match.
Yeah, it was.
It was so. It's once again, Elias can wrestle. He has been able to wrestle for well over a year. It is so frustrating how they booked him at times to not let him show or spread his wings a little bit as a wrestler, so that we as fans can believe him either as a face or a heel that he's a formidable opponent. Having him lose or go after the 24/7 title is so diminutive to what his potential is. So to see him go all out with Ali and Ali kind of doing his thing, and then Elias surprisingly getting the victory was something I did not expect last night.
Well, the way I felt about this match is something that I'm kind of feeling about this current King of the Ring as a whole. I love that this current King of the Ring as a whole has been a vehicle for great matches. Yeah. I think a lot of the time when it first got announced, we all kind of felt like it was going to be a vehicle for Baron Corbin to have something to do. But at the end of the day, it has provided great matches. Yeah. Like there's been some awesome matches in this tournament so far. And not just with guys that already have that like indie cred or NXT cred or whatever, any of those things where people already expect good matches from them, but from guys that aren't necessarily being put in those like 15-minute dope matches or whatever that are used in other ways. Elias, for example, like you said, Elias can go when given the opportunity. It's just not how he has been booked. He does these concerts and joke stuff. But Elias can go, and this was definitely one of those episodes or one of those matches where you got to see that from someone like Elias. And we talked about it in the recap you didn't see about Baron Corbin. I mean, that Baron Corbin versus Cedric Alexander match was awesome. It
was a great match.
They killed it. They both did fantastic work in the match. The fans were invested. You wanted to see Cedric Alexander win, but they also gave themselves an out with him being attacked beforehand. But just overall, Baron Corbin showed up and killed it. He was putting on doing dope stuff in the match. we were pumped on that one, pumped on this one.
Absolutely.
And yeah, there's just been a few ones in this tournament where you go like, those guys maybe wouldn't be expected to put on some awesome match, and they did. And I loved this match. I thought they did a really good job. That moment when Ali did the backflip off the top rope onto the outside and landed, and then Elias jumped off and he super kicked Elias in the air. That was insane. That was wild.
Yeah. It was wild. And some weird new submission moves from Elias that I thought were interesting as well.
The stretch muffler?
Yeah. Also, was that the first time we've heard Elias's music? Like,
no, it's been a few weeks now.
Okay.
But everyone was down on that song when
I
it
haven't
first
seen it showcased that hard.
I liked it.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think it works for him.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Are you surprised that Ali lost on this? Because, I mean, they were trying to, remember this whole thing, Kingston took his spot, essentially.
Yeah.
I thought they were building him back up, all these, like, self-promos and shit. Are you surprised he lost?
A little bit. I was a little surprised he lost. I thought maybe he was going to make it to the finals. But now that I'm seeing all this Chad Gable stuff and I'm seeing where Chad Gable went, I think Chad Gable is going to be the underdog of this tournament.
Damn, Ali's got to turn heel then. Like, if I was Ali, I'm like, if you're going to keep taking my shine or taking my run away from me and give it to somebody else, then turn me heel. Let me go after these guys who took my spots. That way it's kind of that reality fiction blending into itself. I would like that.
It wouldn't surprise me if we see that eventually.
Yeah.
It definitely wouldn't surprise me the way things are going and knowing the way Vince's booked TV and stuff. That definitely wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, because now who would see? Well, we'll get to Chad Gable afterwards. But I think that, it makes sense.
Right?
It makes sense that Ali lost, I think. I think that Elias, like you said, if this tournament can show people that guys like Elias and Baron Corbin can put on dope matches if given the opportunity, then it's a win, I think.
I think no two people need that crown more than Elias or Corbin. And it's my Corbin because it puts him back on the heel top as King Corbin, gives him something to use as a kind of extension of his character now, or a new avenue to explore. For Elias, a King Elias, there's a wealth of humor and segments and great matches that could happen here with Elias.
Get a year's worth of Elvis jokes out of that.
At least. And don't be surprised if the King Elias thing leads to a title, like the world title. That's all in play if he becomes King Elias, for God's sakes.
My money now is on Chad Gable.
You're insane.
But we'll wait till we get to that part.
Ain't no Hobbit winning no damn belt. All right, Samoa Joe, we go backstage, his interview.
An Olympian, and he would stretch the shit out of you.
Out of me? Of course he would. He starts out, this is funny, his promo in the back, he's like a reverend. I've come back to the light. I'm going to do my thing. People are going to see this thing. And I was like, oh, this is an interesting new promo style. And so I liked it a lot. Like what he had to say.
Good promo.
And him talking about people bending the knee, little Game of Thrones reference. I appreciated that as well.
He was great on the mic.
Oh,
he was great in the Chad Gable segment later, too. He was great last night.
This was a good little promo to kind of line him up.
Yeah. The thing with Chad Gable, too, makes me wonder if it's maybe him that gets to the finals and it's Chad Gable versus Samoa Joe in the finals. But we'll see. I don't know.
Oh, no.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, Aleister Black comes out. Aleister Black has a promo, rather. He does his thing. Finally, he is going to pick a fight. Finally, Muhammad is going to the mountain because the mountain won't come to Muhammad. So he says he's going to go do this. So finally, hope to God we're done with that stupid black room and he can go out there and just start fighting people, for God's sakes, because we have been deprived of the skills and abilities of Aleister Black consistently, week to week, in the ring, in exchange for him doing these dumb promos in a black, now dumb. They were great at first, now dumb in this all black room.
I got the same vibe from this that he's done with these room things. I don't know if that's the case, but it felt that way where he was like, I'm over this. You know, that maybe they realized that these aren't catching on like people thought.
It's tough when you're competing with Firefly Funhouse. It's really tough.
That's true.
Nothing is coming close to that.
That is true. That is actually, I think that if the Firefly Funhouse wasn't around, people might be more into the Alistair Black room thing. But the match itself, that's not yet.
Yeah.
But yes, the promo, I kind of hope they're done.
Yeah, right?
As much as I enjoyed a recent interview he did where he explained his thought process on it, I just don't think it's clicking as much.
If you got to explain the joke, it isn't that funny. If you got to explain the promo, it isn't that good. That's my thing. If you've got to explain it so that people understand it, you're not doing a good job. That's the way I look at it. Like people, I get that. And everything he said, I read that interview, everything he said made sense. And you're like, great. But the fans aren't getting that. And the fans aren't going to read this thing to get it. So it's like, you got to get them right off the bat.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I thought that's what Firefly Funhouse has done miraculously.
Agreed. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Fair, totally.
All right, let's move on. Nikki and Alexa take on Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. I'll leave my comments someplace else in case we get messed up again. Fire and Desire get the win here with a great 1-2 combo, which I love. Yeah, it was
like the total elimination back in the day, but like a little updated version because she did the front sweep.
Yeah.
Instead of like, because she was kind of like, did that front sweep into it, and then Mandy did the pump knee thing.
Yeah.
I loved it. So that was the first time they had used that move, right?
That I can recall. Yes,
too,
that's why I wrote it down. I'm like, this is a great 1-2 move.
Me too. I didn't recall them using that move in the past either. And then like I saw someone had a name for it already on Twitter, and I was like, maybe I just haven't seen this move, so I don't want to look dumb by tweeting about it. But it looked dope.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's a cool finishing move. And I think while it's random that they like this start and stop push for Fire and Desire all the time, they're just like they start, they stop, they start, they stop. They're like, I feel like this is gonna be the one where they finally get a real push this time. They're both doing well.
Do you think they get the belts? Because you just had your once again you're following the Iconics playbook here by having Nikki and Alexa losing or in singles or tag team. And they have the belts, and it makes no effing sense to me. You talked to me yesterday, which wasn't, obviously not the episode, but you talked to me how, it makes no sense that Ziggler and Rude were struggling for 10 minutes with Hawkins and Ryder. But I said, these are former tag team champions. You look at these tag team champions, and they're, just getting dispatched so quickly, and I'm just shocked by how they're booking Alexa, and they worked so hard to get them over, and then they were just like, okay, we gave you the belts, let's move on to other tag teams. And I'm frustrated by that.
Before I answer that, do you think Alexa and Nikki are faces or heels?
That's a good question.
Because someone told me today that they're considered faces internally, and I was like, I don't know if I feel that way.
There's no way they're faces.
Right?
The way Alexa treats her, the way Alexa talks about stuff, there's no way they're faces.
Okay, I agree.
And Nikki too.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. To your other point, I agree that they clearly have no respect for the women's tag team titles.
Zero.
They have them lose whenever. They're always kind of made to look weak. I do see Fire and Desire winning them soon.
Okay.
I thought about this since our last conversation, which you guys will never see, and I don't think that Bayley and Sasha are going to be the women's tag team champions anytime soon. I think that in their minds,
they're to bigger fish.
They're on to bigger fish.
They want
to be the two women's champions.
Yep. That I 1,000% agree with.
And that's why Sasha said she didn't care about the women's tag team titles.
Right.
So, I think Fire and Desire are going to win the tag team titles, and they should. Honestly, they've both grown exponentially. They're both so much better than they were a year ago.
I thoroughly agree with you.
Yeah.
Are there still some things that can be tweaked and they're going to get tighter? Yes. But they are so good as a team, so good wrestling. Mandy's such a powerhouse when she uses her strength for her moves. Sasha's a great counter. Sonya is a great counter with her fast moves and MMA stuff. They're a good team, and they work well. And give them the belts. See if the fans get more over with them and they work their thing. And I love the fact that Sonya is a gay wrestler, has the bandana. It's not a big deal. And I love that.
Yeah.
I love that because it's just like she can do damage irregardless. And I think in some small subconscious way, or maybe even conscious way, they're making it okay for this to be a thing going forward in the WWE in any format.
Here's another question.
Yeah.
Where the hell are the Kabuki Warriors?
Who? You know where they're at? They're fighting in Australia against the Iconics, which they just
I saw that.
announced.
But that's like a house show, a live event.
No, well, exactly.
It's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me.
I think with Paige and the neck surgery, they're pushing the Kabuki Warriors back until Paige comes back, and then they'll maybe make a push. Because Kabuki versus Fire and Desire makes sense once they win the titles.
Yeah, but Kairi Sane is so over. Asuka's so over.
That's true.
It is
very
ridiculous. I mean,
that's why, I know people push back on this idea, but I would love for the women to be on shows and then have their own show. They can still be on Raw and SmackDown and whatever on NXT, but they can also have their own shows, own storylines, own things. You have all this talent. You got to use it.
I would not be against a 30-minute women's show on Fox Sports in the fall or something down
an
the line.
hour. I'm happy with an hour.
An hour's cool too. Well, I don't
You
wanna
can fill an hour with all the talent you have.
could, but also then you might run the risk of overkill since they're also all on Raw and SmackDown too. Then there's
Wait a
more.
minute.
Then they're on more than the.
You've got Raw, SmackDown, NXT, 205 Live, and main event. All dudes, mostly dudes. So
Well, you're talking about its own specific roster?
that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I thought you meant the women that are on the Raw and SmackDown roster having their own show.
Right, like with storylines and stuff. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but then they'd be on Raw,
you're
SmackDown, and their own shows. So they'd be on more shows than
You're
the guys.
telling me that's overkill, but I've got 5 shows with multiple dudes on it.
different rosters.
Yeah, though, that's... Oh, I see what you're saying.
So the women would have to be doing so much work. You'd be like
No.
making them do so much extra work.
I see what your point is. Yeah, I guess I should flesh that out a little bit more. New talent in that hour-long show, or they could like dip in and have matches against some
That's
of the
different,
SmackDown
okay.
and Raw wrestlers. But I think there's enough talent of women to do separate show, kind of like 205 Live, where it's all women and you can see the shows see the talent from there.
To be honest with you, I don't like the idea. I don't like how many brands there are in general.
That's fair.
I don't like. To me, the fun of wrestling is the mix of types of
Yep,
people.
yep.
So to me, I like there to be British people on my show, women, men, luchadors, Japanese guys, big dudes, small guys, all that kind of stuff. So to me, I don't like kind of there's only UK wrestlers on this show.
Uh-huh.
There's only women on this show. There's only cruiserweights on this show. There's only big dudes on this show. There's only Japanese people on the show. To me, I don't know. That doesn't excite me as much because it's just a lot of, I don't know. It's not a lot of diversity. Not diversity is the wrong word. There's not a lot of like, it's all just the same thing. It's all just feels like the same thing.
But NJPW is all mostly Japanese.
Well, that's because they're from Japan. Like it's a little bit different. They're all Japanese guys because they're based in Japan.
Fair enough.
It's a little bit different.
It's just a question.
No, I mean like, and it's not all Japanese guys.
Yeah,
they
I
have
know.
lots of white guys.
Yeah, Kenny
they have
Omega's been on,
luchadors, guys from
Jericho.
other countries
True,
and stuff like that too. So, and there's no weekly New Japan show,
There isn't. There really isn't.
which
You're
makes
right.
it difficult to get into. I think.
Yeah.
So that's just me. I don't
My
know.
greatest fear about AEW is they're going to start creating separate shows rather than their main show too quickly.
I worry about that myself.
Right? They seem to be running really fast.
20 broadcasters for some reason.
Yeah, neither of us.
Well, I don't need it, but yeah,
I'd be happy to do it.
I'm sure you would.
All right, Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe has an exchange here with Chad Gable in the back. Calls him Bilbo. Makes fun of him as Chad is. Chad looks almost unrecognizable every time.
With the
I
haircut?
Yeah, it's legitimately do not recognize that guy, and he looks like he's gotten a little bit thinner and
Maybe a little more tight.
Right, tighter, I guess is the right term. Yeah, not as bulky out. He calls him Bilbo. So I guess maybe they're setting up something down the road.
Well, we talked about this before. There's this like big fear that they're going to be doing some kind of short gimmick with Chad Gable, and obviously they've been calling him out on it a bunch lately on TV. But I'm just like reserving judgment because, to be honest with you, as we saw with Andrade, because I mean he wins.
Yes,
he won. He beats Andrade, and that's a pretty big win for him considering where he's at on the card. I feel like did I skip Randy Orton?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, it's all right.
I won't get to the Chad Gable thing yet, but for the promo itself, there's this big fear that like something is happening with Chad Gable where they're going to be making fun of him for being like it's going to be part of his gimmick because there's that trademark filing of Shorty G, and people keep calling him Short and Shorty and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm reserving judgment.
Okay.
Because I really feel like everyone's jumping to conclusions based on WWE's history and this trademark filing and having absolutely no idea where it's going. There's a lot of gimmicks where if you just saw the name and were like, what? Before it debuted, you'd probably think it was stupid.
Yeah.
So I'm reserving judgment because I actually am hopeful that this is going to lead to something actually really good for Chad Gable.
Cool.
I have this feeling that this is maybe the start of something awesome for Chad Gable. He's been putting out those cool promos on social media.
Certainly done that.
Of him training and stuff. He's been owning up to he's kind of been being more of an Olympian, I feel like. They're letting him be more of an Olympian and less of like stoner Kurt Angle, which is kind of how the vibe that he was with the long hair and stuff. Like he's kind of like jokey and stuff. And this version of Chad Gable has been very serious, as we saw in this thing where he's like, hey man, I'm preparing for my match. Like leave me alone type thing.
Right.
So I like it. I like it.
Okay. Well, as you mentioned, Randy Orton did a promo, calling out Kofi, talking about showing us some footage, talking about everything he's done. Kofi starts to come out, and then the Revival beat him up at the top of the ramp, drag him down into the ring. Then Kofi fights back, and maybe momentarily you think he's going to get the best of all three of those guys, and then they eventually absolutely destroy them. And then you wonder what like the announcer does, what condition Kofi's going to be in for this matchup against Randy. This do anything for you?
No.
Yeah. Same.
I felt like it was very copy and paste. I felt like it was very uncreative. I felt like Randy Orton did a great job in the role he was playing, that he was tasked with doing. His promo wasn't necessarily like bad.
No.
I just felt like it was very copy and paste.
Yeah, we got to fill the time. We got to remind people this is coming. So let's do something to beat Kofi and put some kind of odds in the situation.
And keep building up to when New Day comes back to help even the odds type thing.
And
so,
turn on it.
I mean, it is what it is, but
yeah,
I don't think it was that exciting.
And turn on Kofi.
Yeah. No.
All right, fine. Andrade, let's get to this Andrade chat. I'm very angry about this, but Andrade and Chad Gable go out of here on the King of the Ring. Chad Gable defeats him after a really great promo from Zelina in the ring, but I just don't understand this at all. Why sacrifice Andrade for Gable? Why not have Gable fight really, really hard, come really, really close, and then not get the job done, get laughed at by Joe, Samoa loses that triple threat match, then you've got your program still with Gable and Joe.
I mean, I get what you're saying. You're not sacrificing Andrade.
He's not going to get a chance to be king. King Andrade would be awesome.
He doesn't get a chance to be king.
El Rey would be fantastic.
I don't know why they laughed so much. It sounded like he was actually going to be king. Like I had like a Lion King vibe. Like Andrade just can't wait to be king, and someone ruined it. Fucking Scar. But no, I don't think that Andrade. As cool as it would have been to have Andrade be king. Honestly, I think that Chad Gable, if they go this route, Chad Gable get into the finals. And being this underdog story, and being the one underdog to make it all the way through, and then being up against Corbin, the guy that everybody thought was going to win the King of the Ring from the start. Yeah. And seeing him be the underdog to take down the king, or take down Corbin to become the king, and be like a Kurt Angle-like King of the Ring winner, where this can be his Kurt Angle-like moment, where this is like finally the start of singles Chad Gable, who's been stuck in all these tag teams for his entire run in NXT and WWE. So if that's where they're going with it, I actually love it. If Chad Gable's going to be the winner and keeps upsetting people all the way through, and he's this like small guy that is like scrappy, that is going to be the underdog, I love it because Chad Gable is so incredibly talented. Like, I know that you've seen matches of his, but like, I know you didn't watch the 205 Live match of his a few weeks ago, which was incredible. Like both of them. He had two matches against Jack Gallagher, both incredible singles matches where I was like, whoa, they need to let Chad Gable be doing this on the main roster. I mean, Chad Gable, in my opinion, is like the one guy in WWE who is massively underutilized. Dude went to the Olympics, like was an Olympian, like he is a multiple time champion. He's a good wrestler. He's a great wrestler.
What did Rollins tell you, right? You get your opportunities. Can you get over with the fans?
I don't think they're.
Gable has not gotten over with the fans, no matter how much they've tried to get him over with the fans.
When have they tried to get Chad Gable over as a singles wrestler?
How long has he been on the main roster? Singles or teams, it doesn't matter.
Well, all his teams were over, so that doesn't make any sense.
Are you?
His teams all did well.
They were not that over. You're crazy. They were not that over, dude.
That's not true.
You're insane.
People loved American Alpha.
Oh, American Alpha in what version?
You mean the NXT versus main roster?
Yes.
Well,
he was over at NXT, sure, but so was Nikki Cross. People aren't over for Nikki Cross on the main roster. They weren't over for American Alpha on the main roster. I'm saying he's had multiple opportunities.
What are those multiple opportunities that you're referring to?
Well, he's been in the tag team. Then he had another tag team. What was the other tag team he was on?
He's been multiple time tag team champion.
Yeah, multiple times. But people weren't like, oh, great, this is going to be an awesome run. Fantastic, they won.
Yes, they were.
No, you're crazy.
Who doesn't like Chad Gable?
People weren't excited about this. That's why they keep trying to reinvent him, because he's not over. They don't try to keep trying to reinvent you over and over again on the WWE unless you're not over.
This is literally the only time I've seen them try to reinvent him a little bit. when he cut his hair. When have they tried to reinvent him beyond that?
No, what do you mean? What did they try?
He's had the same gimmick like the whole time he's been in WWE.
You mean the wrestling? You mean the Olympic gimmick?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what? But then he was going out on his own, doing his thing, and what was he doing?
They barely had him do any singles since he's been on his own.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Because he hasn't good opportunity doesn't mean he's not over.
He's had opportunities by barely. You still had some, but you weren't over.
Which opportunities are you referring to?
When he was wrestling singles after the breakup of the tag teams.
He wrestled like a couple singles matches. He hasn't been given these big opportunities. This is literally the first big opportunity he's been given.
I'm gonna do some more research.
Great.
On this,
Yeah, please do
I'm
that.
gonna tell you this right now. I know what I've seen, and I just don't think he's over. And even if they push him, there's nothing more boring to me than a Corbin Chad Gable match. That is boring to me.
Really?
As a final for King of the Ring, bore me to tears.
Well, Samoa Joe versus Gable would be cool. No. That works too.
No.
Why not?
Corbin versus Elias is exciting. That's interesting to me. That's interesting to me. I hate to break it to you. We're just on two different sides of the fence on this.
You just said, bet.
Who's left to King? Hold on. Who's left King of the Ring? I want to know who's left.
Elias versus Corbin would be a more exciting match than Corbin
because of
versus
storylines.
They're both
not
heels
just styles.
who have been on the same side for most of the same time.
Right, well,
for like a year, they've both been why would that be an interesting matchup?
So right now we have Elias versus Chad Gable in the semifinals on one side of the bracket, and then Samoa Joe, Ricochet, and Baron Corbin on the other.
Yes.
Okay, a Ricochet Chad Gable match I might be down with. A Ricochet Elias match I might be down with. Those are I'll give you that.
I mean, those are better.
I'll concede that.
Those are a little better options than the one you just threw at me as
Samoa Joe and Chad Gable. I just don't know. I don't know. I think Corbin and Elias would be fun.
I really feel like if you had seen that Chad Gable match against Chad Gallagher, your whole opinion would be changed.
I have no issue with Chad's ability.
No, I know. I'm just,
okay.
I don't think you've seen him fully wrestle a dope 15-minute singles match.
But I have no issue with his ability.
No, but you haven't seen it is what I'm saying.
I have seen him wrestle.
You haven't seen him wrestle a dope 15-minute singles
American
match.
Alpha was great on American Alpha.
You haven't seen him wrestle a dope 15-minute singles match.
Probably not.
No, you haven't. And I'm telling you, if you did, you wouldn't feel the same way. You'd be like, yeah, you put Chad Gable in the finals now.
Okay, if you're asking me, do I think they should have sacrificed Cedric Alexander? And if they're going to sacrifice Ricochet for Chad Gable, I'm going to tell you right now, fuck no.
What is sacrifice, man?
I mean, they lose and don't get a chance to be in the finals to be king. And you're going to give it to this fucking,
Yeah, because this is a launching pad that gives someone something to do. You forget it's like...
I don't forget nothing. Booker was established when he won the king. Harley Race was established when he was the king. So it doesn't have to be an up-and-comer bullshit. It has to be about what's best for the wrestlers involved and who could get a great shine. King Andrade would be awesome.
Yeah.
So would King Cedric Alexander would be interesting.
So would King Drew
Ricochet.
McIntyre. So would King lots of
King
things.
Drew McIntyre would not have been exciting.
There's like lots of things that would have been cool, but you forget that this is like a scripted thing. This isn't like
I know it's a scripted thing.
No, I know that, but it's not like this is a like
I'm complaining about storylines. I know it's a scripted
this is a
thing.
vehicle for storylines.
Yes, I
not
know.
Like who's most deserving, like a trophy award.
I know. I'm arguing from a storyline perspective. I'm not arguing from, he earned it. I'm not arguing from that.
Well, you're saying sacrificing for Chad Gable, but
Yeah, because I think Andrade's
because none of those guys need it as much, in my opinion. Chad Gable really needs it.
I think Andrade still needs it. I think there's some people who are still like kind of not sure. I think he's not as over as he needs to be, even though he's done a great job over the last few weeks getting over, and certainly having Zelina come back to being kind of like the mouthpiece for Andrade has helped. But I think Andrade needs just that little bit extra something else. He could be a Randy Savage. I see him as a Randy Savage, and I'm frustrated that's not quite there. You cheer for Chad Gable. I'll cheer for Andrade.
We lost, so don't cheer for him anymore. He's not in the tournament. No, and I love Andrade. I just think that Chad Gable needs it more than all these guys.
All right, fair enough.
Like, he's the one guy that's left in the tournament right now who, if the tournament ends tomorrow, he's the only one without something to do.
Right.
Exactly. He's the one who needs it.
There's a reason for that.
Because they haven't had something for him for career. Now they could, in theory, have something for him.
How about this? If it works out and he becomes, and it goes flaccid, will you concede that it's about him? It's not necessarily about his abilities.
Wait, say it again?
If he wins this thing, becomes King Chad Gable, which is ridiculous, and the fans still aren't over it, he doesn't get over with the fans still aren't that excited about his matches, then eventually he just kind of dials out, he just kind of flails out. Will you then concede that no matter how many opportunities, sometimes it really is that you're not over with the fans, no matter how great you are as a wrestler?
No, because it depends on how the storyline goes. Like, it's how the person's written for.
That happens, though. That happens that they try everything to make it work, and you just don't work. That's possible. No
But
matter
this
how
is the
talented you
only
are.
this is the only Chad Gable storyline there's been.
No, he has been in front of people's eyes for
You
a
tell
number
me
of
with
times.
these magical opportunities that Chad Gable has had, and then I'll concede. But like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I've been a Chad Gable mark since before Chad Gable, since the day Chad Gable signed. I went, who's this Chaz Betts Olympian guy? Because I did high school wrestling. I'm pretty sure that's his name, Chaz Betts. And I was like, this guy seems cool. I went and watched him or something. Like, damn, is that his real name, right? Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Betts.
And I went, oh, this guy seems pretty cool.
Charles Betts.
Yeah, Charles Betts. Oh, this guy seems pretty cool. And I looked at it, and I've been following him since the day he got signed. And I'm a huge fan of his because I loved all the Ready, Willing, and Gable stuff in NXT. And I do not recall any huge opportunities that Chad Gable has gotten floundered since he went solo.
Okay.
Because he had the tag team with Shelton Benjamin.
He did? Right.
And then that got split up. I forget exactly why, but I want to say that one of them got injured or something. But that split up, and he hasn't really, like, he's wrestled in a few matches and stuff, but he hasn't really had like a dedicated push that I recall.
Okay. Yeah, he was moved on April 16th in 2019, I guess, 2018 by himself to Raw.
Yes.
Right?
And then rarely used.
April 23rd, Gable, he fought Jinder Mahal. I remember that. Then he formed a tag team. Yes, I do.
You remember his random match on Raw with Jinder Mahal?
Yeah, because at that time they were
over with you.
At that time they were pushing Jinder down, and I was mad that Jinder was losing because I was a I like Jinder being a champion. I like that he being a heel. I really hate what they did with Jinder. I would have liked if them kept him evil and winning randomly these matches or winning the occasional title. I was mad. So having him lose to Gable, who I thought was a nobody, I was really upset.
Olympian.
All right, what are we going to argue? The character or the fucking real life?
Well, they're both considered Olympians.
Fine.
That's like saying Kurt Angle can't be considered an Olympian because his character talks about it.
How dare you invoke
I'm
Kurt
just saying
Don't
the
you
same thing. You
invoke
can't
Kurt
say,
Angle in this situation. No, but I'm saying is no one in the fact that he...
Wait, has there ever been a singles push for Chad Gable that I'm forgetting
No,
about?
because they put him with Rude quickly after that.
They put him with Rude. And
then
that team got over and people liked that team.
People did not like that team.
People did like that team.
You're insane.
And then they split that team up, and then the next draft happened, the Superstar Shakeup, and Chad Gable got sent back to SmackDown, and this is his first dedicated push since then.
Yeah.
What opportunities did he squander? You concede, my friend.
You concede. I just think the guy's had opportunities, 2 separate tag teams, and now solo. We'll see if he gets over. If he doesn't get over, he doesn't get over. That's it. That's what I'm getting at. Sometimes you just can't get over no matter how you try. All right, let's move on to Bo. I don't know. Speaking of not getting over, Bo Dallas wins the 24/7 title on Drake Maverick and then runs away, and we'll deal with that later.
Just why hasn't Drake Maverick consummated the marriage yet? He had it for days.
Yeah, this is done.
This time it doesn't make sense.
This storyline is done.
It's one thing when it's one day to the next and they're traveling.
Yeah.
Now I just think that Drake Maverick's wife doesn't love him.
Well,
like, I'm sorry. Because why aren't they consummating the marriage when he wins?
She's using an excuse to
I just want to know.
Consummate the marriage. Well, to be fair, he's been kind of a dick to her. So I mean, I don't like fault her for not consummating the marriage. Just because you're ready doesn't mean I'm ready after all the bullshit you pulled. Do you remember you lifting the belt to cover my face in a social media video? Screw you, Drake. You Aussie bastard. There we go.
We'll talk more on the next one.
All right, Shinsuke comes out and fights some squash match. Look, this was fun, I guess, but with Sami Zayn looking on and doing commentary and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. It was almost like he's a fan watching this happen, you know? So cool, but I want something more out of this. I don't want squash matches with Sami Zayn doing shit like this.
Fair. I didn't hate the squash match concept because I liked watching Nakamura just punk this guy.
Yeah.
I do get concerned with like the way they view Sami Zayn at this point. Like the last 2 people who did that gimmick were Abraham Washington, who got fired for making that Kobe joke during a match.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
No. What did he say?
That was
I remember him getting fired. I remember the Kobe joke.
He said like, it's bad. It was something about like not remembering, like something about as bad as, it was something about Kobe hotel room joke. It was a Kobe hotel room joke. Yeah. We shouldn't repeat it, but it was a Kobe hotel room joke. And
it'll go back.
Yeah. Glitched again. No, it was a Kobe hotel room joke. And then that got him fired, if I recall correctly. And then the other one was Leo Rush, who is now not on TV anymore.
What is that all about?
I get concerned, and he's like tweeting about future dates and how he's excited about his future. So who knows? But yeah, as entertaining. Like you're looking up the joke.
I just want to know.
Yeah, no, it was bad.
It was with what's his face, right? Was he with Tyson?
Yeah, he was the primetime players manager.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh God. Yeah, that was it. Very inappropriate. Yeah.
That's something you joke with your friends.
Yeah, that's not something you see on international television. No.
Boof.
But yeah, it made me laugh, but I also know that kind of thing can become overkill too. So I don't know. Yes, it made me laugh last night. It was entertaining last night, but I don't know if I want to see it continue.
Okay.
I don't need to hear.
Apparently, it wasn't just the joke. Apparently, he tweeted out something else about AW Promotions voting for Linda McMahon.
No, that's not what it was.
That's not what it was?
I mean, you're reading an article. I mean, a Bleacher Report or whatever. But I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly, it was the joke. That was when I was
That
working
joke was tough.
in news at the time. Yeah, it was rough.
Okay.
But the 24/7 title stuff that happened afterwards when Drake came running out cracked me up because one, I'm glad that R-Truth is champion again, and two, did you notice the subtle Chris Jericho joke?
No.
So you saw everything with Chris Jericho yesterday.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, we talked about
it with the title.
Yeah. So obviously, you all, anyone watching this, I guarantee, I'm gonna guess you saw that Chris Jericho lost and now has found the AEW title. It was not a storyline thing. It was very real. He filed a police report. I spoke to the cops myself to make sure they confirmed that it was an actual thing that was reported stolen or missing to them. So the story goes that Jericho flew home to Florida after All Out, grabbed the wrong bags but didn't realize it, got in his limo, went to a Longhorn Steakhouse to go eat dinner.
Yeah.
While on the way, realized he had the wrong bag. So he went to the steakhouse. His title belt was in the car with him, next to the bags. When they got to Longhorn Steakhouse, he told the driver, "Can you take this back? I grabbed the wrong bags. I can grab my bags if they're there." The guy said, "Yeah." So driver went back, but Jericho left the title belt in the limo. And when the driver came back, the title belt was not in the limo, and Jericho reported it stolen or missing. Kind of sounds like he lost the title, but I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. But it has been found. The Tallahassee Police Department posted a picture of the belt saying they found it.
My college town, dog.
But the reason I brought this up is because I like the tiny little subtle reference from Corey Graves when all this happened. When Drake Maverick was all happily celebrating with the title, Corey said something like, Drake's gonna take his wife in their limousine and go to a chain restaurant now or something like that. And I was cracking him. I was like, I knew there was gonna have to be some reference to Jericho losing the title. So that made me laugh.
What steakhouse were they going to?
Longhorn Steakhouse.
Yeah, man, I've been there. In Tallahassee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been to the Tallahassee Longhorn?
I went to school at Florida State. So for me, going to Longhorn Steakhouse, that's what we did on theater nights. We would go and hang out and have, I think it's the place, I think it's the one, it's got great bread at the beginning. I think it's the one you eat peanuts and throw the shells on the ground. I think.
Isn't that Northwoods Inn?
No. I never heard of Northwoods.
You never heard of Northwoods Inn?
No.
That's maybe just out here then. That's where I'm used to
Longhorn
doing that.
Steakhouse is the one. And I think there's one in...
Do they not have Outback out there?
In Victorville. I think there's one in Victorville in California.
Do they not have Outback out there?
Yeah, but it's not the same.
It's not the same as a Longhorn?
Longhorn felt like a down-home place in the South. Outback is like, it's a chain. Longhorn never felt like a chain.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, Longhorn was great.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, well, luckily Jericho found the title, or the title has been found.
He
so
did. Anyway, Drake wins the title back, but then R-Truth jumps out of the chair or whatever, and by the throne, gets that title, and then runs off. I'll be honest with you, it was fine that he won the title back, but I'm not excited that he won the title back because I'm like, okay. I feel like we've done what we can do with R-Truth. It would have been nice to see somebody else for a month or so.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, kind of quasi interested in Bo Dallas being given an opportunity because he is funny,
right?
And I would have liked to have seen what Bo Dallas,
freaking is a fiend.
Mm-hmm. I would have liked to have seen Bo get maybe a week to do something with him because I like where when they were doing kind of giving the guys who have comedy chops a week to do something fun with it.
Yeah.
I know you hated it, but I liked the Mike and Maria Kanellis thing. I liked the Jinder Mahal thing. I don't
mind Jinder.
Yeah, I know. I like these little side things.
Mm-hmm.
it kind of creates this bigger world of the 24/7 title, kind of when people get a week with it, and then they're kind of lumped in, and they almost make sense with the zombie of people, as opposed to just like this, like, well, you're not doing anything tonight. Go run, chase after the 24/7 title.
I think it's a great point, and I think you could have done something, Bo Dallas, because of Henning and right, and have them both like kind of for a week or two, or even for a month, like. Fight each other for the belt constantly, and you could still have other people getting involved, blah, 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 but then one of them would take it off the other one. That would be brilliant. That'd be funny, a way to keep them kind of still in the mix on TV and whatever, or the B team, and then maybe get people's excitement for them kind of back up again, and then you put them back on and they could wrestle. There's possibilities.
I mean, they're good. I mean, that time when they wrestled Roman Reigns, it was a fun match.
Yeah, it was. R-Truth is not... It doesn't do anything for him to have it again. It really doesn't. So I hope they take your advice and maybe do something with Bo Dallas. That would be fun. Or with Henning. It'd be interesting as well.
Curtis Axel.
Curtis Axel. I'm sorry about that. I know but he's Kurt Henning's son, isn't he?
He is Kurt Henning's son.
Isn't he the Axe's grandson? For
is.
God's sakes. All right. Let's move on to the last segment. That's Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, and Eric Rowan. This was a super surprise on my end. Had no idea, and Rowan killed it.
Dude, Rowan knocked it out of the park.
Woo! I was so shocked, dude.
Like, Rowan's always this quiet, like,
it's always been everybody
imposing
else.
figure. Everyone else always talking for him. Loved it. I'll let you kind of
Daniel Bryan came out, did his thing, and Roman Reigns was looking for the apology, and then Rowan comes out and then absolutely destroys Reigns. And then when Daniel Bryan tries this, he goes, "You're not gonna stop me. I'm tired of people talking for me or saying, what are you gonna do? Come up and slap me?" And then later, as this is all going on outside the ring, when they get outside the ring, Daniel Bryan does come up and slap Rowan.
He's like, "I'm your friend," and he slaps him.
And Rowan throws him through a goddamn table. It was great. And Rowan is the last one standing. So was it Rowan all along?
He said it was.
Yes, that's right.
No, he said it in the thing. He said, like, I'm proud of what I did to you.
Yeah.
And he straight up said he did it.
Okay, so I'm asking because we've had this kind of like,
mystery is over. It was Rowan.
It was Rowan.
And
now should Buddy Murphy be scared now?
Probably.
So Rowan has finally admitted it, and now Rowan's gonna go kill him.
I really, really, really enjoyed this. I think that, I saw people bitching, like, really, you guys, they did this like month-long storyline of a whodunit angle, all to just be Rowan. Yeah, great. You just did something awesome for Rowan. Like, Rowan is entertaining. Like, Rowan's a big presence. Like, he's a big dude. He's put in the time. He's put in the work.
He's overcome the injuries. He's overcome all this stuff.
He's overcome terrible gimmicks.
Yeah, terrible gimmicks.
A terrible theme song. To still be around. And now he gets to be himself.
Yeah.
And just kind of be this big, tough badass.
Yeah.
I love it. I thought that I was like watching it like, damn, Rowan can talk. Rowan can actually talk and be his own singles thing. Like, hell yeah. We've seen it with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry. We've seen it with Braun Strowman, where Braun Strowman got to break out of the Wyatt family.
Right.
I like it. I'm interested in
Rowan. With what's his face?
Luke Harper a little bit.
Oh, they won the title. What do you mean a little bit? They won the titles.
I don't know if he's ever had he's been Intercontinental champion, but I don't know if Luke Harper ever actually got like a fully dedicated, like, big push like this. I mean, this was a whodunit angle for 2 months that ended with Rowan.
I'm just saying he's been doing different. They've tried different ways to put Rowan in stuff, and this looks great.
Absolutely, and I loved it. I think that I like the idea of Rowan versus Roman.
I'm down with it.
They need more big guys.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Like, the little guys are great too. The smaller guys are great too. But the big guys are, that's WWE. And like Rowan, I feel like Rowan's been involved in like really good matches in the past. Where yes, it was maybe a tag match or whatever, but like Rowan's been involved in good matches. I have confidence that they could put on a good match together at Clash Champion. And it's a new opponent for Roman.
Absolutely. After this promo, and then after what he did to Reigns and Daniel Bryan, I absolutely believe that as well. But now, have we turned Bryan face?
I'm wondering that. I almost wonder if they want him face for Fox.
Yeah. I could see that.
They did this thing with him for a minute, but like maybe they put him back to being a face now. And you know what? I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Bryan's one of those people that he's Teflon. Like,
of course.
He can go wherever. If the second, all he has to do is like one of these things, and you can't see me if you're listening, but it's my yes finger's starting to activate a little bit. The second he does, like, he's looking at them, and he like starts to that whole crowd just gonna be like, yes, yeah, and that's literally all he has to do.
Yeah.
Like, he just has to do that one moment of like staring at his fingers, like, what's happening? The yes movement is reactivating. Yes! Like, it'd be awesome. So, I mean, that's really what everyone's waiting for anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
They love cheering for Bryan.
everyone loves cheering for Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, so maybe when the Reigns and Rowan thing is over, then it'll be Daniel Bryan and Rowan possibly for a mini program, and then boom, moving on from that.
I know that I'm still being hopeful on the Luke Harper front, but I'm almost hoping that this leads to, after Clash of Champions, Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns against the Bludgeon Brothers, but new version where they're both normal.
So, yeah.
I think WWE's going to make Luke Harper work off that time. Otherwise, he's going to be sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah. Well, what if Luke interferes in this match to help?
That's what I'm wondering.
That's right, because there's no titles on the line.
Yeah, and he was actually just doing this for them the whole time. They wanted to be normal, and you can just play into that, and they're like normal dudes who like let Luke Harper just talk, like, you know.
It would be hilarious if they and they turn on Bryan and be like, "You were always the runt of the Wyatt family. Remember when we played with you?" And they're like banding him about like a rabbit. That would be perfect. Just kind of turning it around, and Bryan's like all shocked that this is all happening to him. Everything's turned around so crazily. I thought I was in control.
Yeah,
and he's not in control at all. That would be great.
And Bryan, it seemed to me like Bryan wanted to help the Bludgeon Brothers get over back when he first came back.
Yeah.
And now it's like he's seemingly getting another shot. I hope that this is all, that somehow Luke Harper gets involved in this and it becomes a tag team, because it does seem like he's going to turn face again.
It looks crazy to me how the Wyatt family is all of a sudden becoming, like, slowly but surely becoming like separate powers within whatever they're doing.
It's like the Four Horsewomen.
Yeah.
It's very much like that.
Yeah,
Like these NXT entities that have kind of like grown to become the hottest thing in wrestling right now, even separately, like the Wyatt family separately, but they're all like these popular, these cool things going on in wrestling right now too. So yeah, I know, I love it.
Yeah. Maybe Chad Gable should join the Wyatt family. All right, well, there you go.
They don't even exist anymore, Rocha.
I mean, he should be
head on straight.
He should be rambling rabbit. He's so small. All right, thanks everyone for watching this SmackDown live recap here on Pro Wrestling Sheet. Ryan, tell them where they can watch, listen, and read everything we do.
ProWrestlingSheet.com. That's the website where you can find all the top stories in the world of professional wrestling throughout the week. At Wrestling Sheet on social media, youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. That's where you can find the videos that we do, the Raw and SmackDown recaps. It's where you can find interviews that we do, and a lot more. Also, check out our podcast feed. It's on all the major podcast platforms. Just search Wrestling Sheet Radio. You can find a recent interview I did with Tony Storm on there.
Yeah, that was a good interview, man.
Thank you. That one I didn't put on the YouTube channel because it was just audio, and I didn't want you to just look at me the whole time while I was interviewing her. But if you want to listen to it, it's good stuff. Even though we talk about UK TakeOver before it happened, it's worth checking out. There's some other fun stuff in there as well, especially now that she's not champion. She talks about maybe her goals for Raw and SmackDown in the future. So we'll have to wait and see. You can find me on social media. I'm at Ryan Satin. Oh, and the podcast. I said the podcast feed. So yeah, I'm at Ryan Satin.
There you go. Follow him, Ryan Satin. Follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. Sorry to everyone again for the Raw recap. They didn't get up. It was totally technical difficulties, and that just happens sometimes. So our apologies. But we touched on what we wanted to touch on for this. Thank you for watching or listening to this SmackDown Live recap. We'll be back next week with another Raw and SmackDown Live recap on Pro Wrestling Sheet. Until then, take care and enjoy yourselves.
ProWrestlingSheet.com